Hey, everybody. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I want to start off by thanking once again all of those people who listen to the show on a regular basis. Just this past week, I announced I just passed 1,500 downloads, and in a week, I got another 100 downloads. So, thank you. Thank you very much. That does not happen very often for me, so I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Bruh, really? 100? Hey, that, like I said, that doesn't happen a lot for me. So it's a good occasion. I'm gonna go ahead and celebrate. So, uh, I wanted to start this week's episode by talking first about my brand new website, walkerthegeek.com. You can go over there and you can find the podcast. You can also find links to my Twitter and my Instagram account. And I've also set up pages where you can go and check out all of the photos I have taken from all the conventions I've been in the past. And there's going to be a lot more conventions in the future coming to go up on those pages, so you'll be able to see all kinds of really cool photos. And hopefully I'll be linking my YouTube. Excuse me. When dinner comes back to haunt you. Hopefully later I'll be linking my YouTube channel to that, and so you'll be able to get some of the videos that are going to be coming in 2019. Hold on, hold your water.
What?
That's right, videos coming in 2019. There are going to be more, so just, yeah, hold your butts. But also, I have started a blog. I know. Who blogs anymore in 2019? It's 2018 still, but I don't even know what year it is. Anyway, who blogs anymore? Well, to be perfectly honest with you, a lot of people do. And actually, when you really look at a lot of the articles you see posted up on Twitter and on Instagram, they're actually not very long, making them not actual articles, but more blog posts. Especially since a lot of them contain opinions. So that's really what a blog is. Anyway, I do those every single day. I pick a big news story for the day and write a little blog about it. So you'll be able to go over there and you'll be able to find that. So, now that I've talked enough about me, because what you guys are really here for is comic books, right? Right. That's what you all come here for, except for this guy right here, who inevitably will just sit here and heckle me the entire time. So for you, sir, that's right. This week is the final episode for 2018. Thank you. Yeah. See? And with the final episode for 2018, I wanted to, instead of doing the normal comic booky review kind of thing, I wanted to talk about some of my top comic books for 2018. Yeah, so I wanted to go over some of the best stuff that I've been reading this year. Some of the things that I read on a regular basis did not make this list. Some of the things you're going to find, you're going to be like, wait, this didn't make the list? What's wrong with you? And I'll be talking about some of those, but not here on this show. You'll have to head over to walkerthegeek.com, check out the blog to find out what it was I was not talking about that I should have been talking about. Yeah, that's the only way you're going to find out. Sorry, it's the way it is. That wasn't a joke. Anyway, let's move on to talking about some of these books. And so we're going to go over the top 10, and then I have a special category for a special book that came out this year. And let's start off with number 10 on the list, Oblivion Song. I've really been enjoying this story, and it follows the scientist Nathan, who caused a cataclysmic event that basically pushed our dimension together with an Oblivion dimension. and people have been lost here since this cataclysm. He's been working by himself to find as many of the missing people in Oblivion as he can to return them home. This is just it. It's one of the many stories that have come from Kirkman just this year, even. And he's been doing a pretty good job of giving us a reason to want to see what happens to Nathan and if he will ever be able to fix what he did. Um, I'm not a huge fan of Lorenzo de Felicis. Sorry if I butchered that name. I'm not a real big fan of the art style, but for whatever reason, it does go well with the story. It's not overly detailed and saturated with things that are going in the background to distract you from what's really going on in the story, and I really liked that. So it's okay stuff. It's cartoony, but not in the way that I like my cartoony art to be, if you can believe that. So, Oblivion Song makes the list, coming in at the bottom, number 10. Next up, book number 9 is, oddly enough, a DC book. I know. Calm down. Calm down. I know. You all know my disdain for what's been going on at DC this year. However, for those of you who have been listening for the last several episodes, you'll know that I have really been enjoying Old Lady Harley. Yeah. We're only 2 issues into this book, and it made the list, and you'll find out why here. So this is written by Frank Terry. Terry? I guess. I don't know. Again, another last name I can't say. This is another post-apocalyptic story following Harley after the Joker is supposed to be long dead. The book follows her after she has learned that he could actually, in fact, be alive. This book is absolutely ridiculous in every single way possible. The story doesn't just make fun of DC Comics, as Harley books tend to do, but it also makes fun of Marvel Comics, and this specifically poking at all of the, quote, old man books that seem to be going on. So you've got Old Man Logan going on, Old Man Hawkeye going on. Reading this is every bit the kind of story that I would expect to get an Old Man Deadpool story. But with a main character that's even more crazy and, of course, slutty, as they make references time and time again that Harley has been around the DC universe several times. Admittedly, the fact that I could even bring myself to put this book on the top 10 list for the year just shows the lack of quality out there, or is maybe a testament to its greatness. You know, I'll let you guys be the judge. That was supposed to come. You know what? Never mind. It doesn't even matter anymore. But like I said, Old Lady Harley has been. It feels. Harley books feel like DC's Deadpool books is really what they feel like. The innuendo, all of the jokes, the wisecracking. That's what they're supposed to feel like. And I feel like this is the old man Deadpool book that we all deserve, but we'll probably never get. So, good job for Frank writing this story and bringing Old Lady Harley to life for all of us, even though we didn't want it. But now we know that we want it. Let's see. Next, book number 8, we've got Hit Girl. I've never actually read a Hit Girl or a Kick-Ass comic until now. In fact, if it wasn't for the 2 Kick-Ass movies, I probably wouldn't even know anything about Hit Girl other than she's a comic book character. So, Hit Girl's been running solo, and in this series, she's been traveling all over the world, and at each new spot starts a new story arc. The neat thing about these arcs is that a new writer and artist team come take over for each arc. Mark Millar wrote the first arc in Colombia with Ricardo Lopez Ortiz as artist, and what a crazy kill fest that was. Jeff Lemire takes over for writing with Eduardo Risso on art when she travels to Canada, and when she left the snow turned red with blood, I tell you. It's just typical stuff. In the current arc in Rome, Raphael Albuquerque does the both writing and the art, and let me tell you, he's writing a story where Rome is seeing gladiators again. It's on the third issue for this particular arc, and it's been really, really good. And I'm absolutely loving the short little story arcs they're telling, and then changing writers and artists, and it's actually been really, really good to pick up this book and basically read Hit Girl for the first time. Again, like I said, if it wasn't for the Kick-Ass movies, I wouldn't know anything about Hit Girl. I wouldn't know anything about her story. It never really jumped up on my radar. So this is good stuff. Next up, number 7, we're going to talk about Farmhand. So I almost didn't pick up this book when it came out, but pressure from my local comic shop owner was too much, even though my initial impression of the book was a little bit, yeah. Try to imagine a world where you could grow human body parts like plants. It's pretty, and, right? So one man's come into a possession of a means of doing just that, and he's managed to help thousands, if not millions. Of course, there are people opposed to what he's doing, and there seems to be a few or more secrets buried in the past that have yet to come to light. So while his son Jed tries to reconnect with his father and his sister, who are basically running the program, his wife and kids seem to be dealing with problems of their own in their new life in a new town. Whatever is going on that farm is secret and dark, and it just seems like there's, with magic comes a price, and it seems like this is kind of some pretty dark magic kind of stuff, and there's going to be a price to pay at some point down the road. We're only in issue 6, I believe, just came out, 6 or 7, and it's been doing really, really good. Rob Gilroy has been doing wonderful, both with the writing and doing the art for the story. And for a while I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep going, but after the second and third issue, I found myself begging to know what secrets were going on and how all of this is possible. First of all, because they talk about this seed, and it's like, just seems like at some point there was a deal made with some sort of dark demon or entity. But either way, I just, like, I have to know what's going on. Just have to. It's driving me. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just Farmhand. Read it. Pick it up. Try it. You might like it. So let's move on to book number 6. Cosmic Ghost Rider. Now, Cosmic Ghost Rider has since ended. And I wasn't sure just how epic this little mini-series was going to be when I first picked it up, but I'm glad that I did. This book basically tells you how you can make the Punisher more lethal. And how do you do that is, well, you give him the powers of Ghost Rider and Silver Surfer. I know, right? So this comes in the aftermath of his battle with Thanos, way far flung in the future. And Frank is sent back to the land of the living and decides that he's going to fix the future. After all, what good is the power cosmic if you don't use it to kill the greatest threat to the universe, right? I mean, what are you, chicken? Yeah, well, yeah, you chicken? Yeah, what are you gonna do? So when Frank travels back in time to when Thanos is just an infant, he is intent on killing him, but instead he kidnaps Thanos and tries to make him into a better person than the Thanos we all know. That of course doesn't go as planned, and things escalate very quickly, and things get super out of hand. But you'll have to pick up the book to figure out how it all ends. Donny Cates did an absolutely great job bringing this character into the Marvel Universe proper. It feels like the kind of story that really shouldn't have gained any traction, but that it that it did. You can't help but feel but like you're watching a Saturday morning cartoon show, which really just makes for my kind of comic book, really. And the art in this was absolutely great. I really wish that the series hadn't ended, but luckily we're going to be getting more of the Cosmic Ghost Rider in the new Guardians of the Galaxy series coming, I believe, in January from Donny Cates as well. So I expect our Cosmic Ghost Rider to be around for a long, long time because this book just went. I mean, it took off. It helps that this is a brand spanking new character introduced into the Marvel Universe, and people went absolutely nuts when he was introduced in the Thanos book, and so it just, yeah, I don't see Cosmic Ghost Rider going anywhere anytime soon. So, yeah, check it out. It was good stuff. All right, we're down to the bottom 5. Next up is Deadpool. I mean, what can you say about Deadpool that does this comic book justice, really? I mean, Scotty Young has been writing the new Deadpool series, and it's been absolutely amazingly ridiculous. The laughs absolutely never seem to stop, which is what you should expect from a Deadpool book, right? Because, I mean, that's pretty much just a Deadpool book. So, we've seen Deadpool go from killing a cosmic elder that basically like pukes all over everybody as his special power. Like where did you I would really love to ask Scotty where he came up with that freaking idea because dude, uh to his previous, not anymore, but his previous state of depression before confronting an arch nemesis that he never knew he had, Kill Puddle. No, that was not a joke. That is the actual name of a villain who believes he came before Deadpool and calls himself Kill Puddle. Again, it's not a joke. But it being in a Deadpool book, you never really know, do you? Just so yeah. With Nick Young and Scott Hepburn running the art, you just can't help but love the way the story is being told. Only 7 issues in, and we have absolutely no idea what's coming next or just how ridiculous things are going to get. But it's Scotty Young, and so I'm pretty sure that we're just going to continue to scale again and again and again and again and again the ridiculousness because it is Scotty Young, and it's a Deadpool book, so it's really just a... But at the same time, you can't help but spend all of your time reading it going... So that's right, I got an opportunity to use that laugh track, even though I didn't tell a joke. So, all right, let's move on to number 4, Beyonders. So I actually didn't pick up this book until issue 2 came out, after hearing such great things about issue number 1. So Beyonders is a story of the greatest mystery in all of history, solved by a young man who can see things in a puzzle that is thousands upon thousands of years old that no one else can. So throughout history, people of note have been part of an organization known as Beyonders to solve the puzzle that can't be solved without pieces from others over time. That's kind of what I thought initially. However, this has been a pretty awesome story blending elements of Indiana Jones and National Treasure and taking them not just up one notch, but like several. The writer Paul Jenkins has been doing a great job telling a story that has done nothing but make me want to read the next issue and get to know more about this mystery that's going on. On top of that, Wesley St. Clair's art has been doing a really great job bringing the actual story to life with every single issue. Not to mention, the main character has a dog, and it's a one-eyed Welsh Corgi. And who doesn't love a one-eyed Welsh Corgi. And it talks. And it loves sandwiches. And I think that's amazing. So, yeah, Beyonders. Check it out. I really feel like everybody who has read the book really would compare it to an Indiana Jones National Treasure type thing. But I think I like it better than National Treasure. Not better than Indiana Jones, but definitely better than National Treasure. Definitely the second one, if nothing else. That was, let's be fair, the second one wasn't. Yeah, so. All right, let's talk about Domino. Yeah, Domino. Everybody loves Domino, especially me. That's why it makes it at number 3. So, Domino has been a super wild ride since the start. Domino and her friends, Outlaw and Diamondback, take on merc jobs each and every issue and get into trouble that just escalates, much in the way a fire does when you pour gasoline on it. And I'm absolutely loving the hell out of it. The stories have been short little story arcs, and the jokes are absolutely plentiful. I've been really enjoying how Gail Simone has been keeping the badass Domino we all know and love, but at the same time not, giving her a small amount of Deadpool antics at the same time, while also keeping her, so I'm just going to go ahead and say this because I feel like this is something that has to be said. So, Gail has been doing an awesome job basically keeping the Domino we all love while keeping that beautiful sexual woman she's always been without taking away any of her power as a powerful female character. I've never felt like there was anything wrong with having sexual female characters in comic books, and Domino is a sexual female character. She's also another one of those women who gets around, but it doesn't take away from her badassery. It doesn't make her, you look at Domino and I look at Harley and I expect Harley to be a complete slut. But I look at Domino and I just really expect her to be a sexy badass first, then a little bit slutty. It is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it's the grayish skin tone. I don't know. But I feel like David Baldwin could have, taken it and drawn her in an overly sexual manner, but he hasn't. And it's in a very cartoon-like style art that's really adding to the fun that I have reading this book every month. This is probably one of the few times where I've been reading a book that includes Domino and I haven't been thinking about her in that fashion. Although, listening to me talk about her this way, you would think that, no, that's all I do, but it's really not. I just felt like that needed to be said. There was a Twitter discussion Gail was having with somebody about over sexualizing women in comic books and things like that, and it didn't happen too long ago. And she's been working on Domino, and that's the perfect example of a character who isn't overly sexualized, but still a sexual, character. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on before I, stick my foot in my mouth any further and just, yeah. So, all right. How about book number 2, Darth Vader? That's right. Anybody who's been paying attention to the show at any point in time over the last couple of years know that I have been absolutely into the Darth Vader series. And this has been absolutely just a great story. It's been ups and downs, and this is about the rise of Vader just after the events conclude in Revenge of the Sith. The actually issue 1 of this particular series starts with, Vader in the room screaming out, "No!" And, that's where it picks up. So, yeah, right there. We've seen in this story how Vader obtains his lightsaber and even learned how the blade of a Sith becomes red. We've seen Vader come across some of the Jedi that went into hiding. After Order 66, there was even a crossover with Star Wars Rebels when Vader met the Inquisitors. So yeah, so that happened. The you know Charles Soule has been doing a really good job telling this story, and I really hope he doesn't go anywhere anytime soon. And I don't say that a whole lot about writers, especially when I know that Marvel is infamous about, putting on a writer for a little while and then sending him off to do something else. Or, his contract is up. So, the art from Giuseppe Camuncoli. I hope so. I probably said that wrong. And I should really stop trying to say people's last names. Uh, it's been a real treat to see this, as you can really, despite the despite the fact that you can't see Vader's face, you really feel the emotion. Um, it, it is comical to say something like that, and yeah, you really feel the emotion on Vader's face when Giuseppe has been doing the writing. And I don't know. It just, anyway. But it's been a really good series. If you're into Star Wars and you're into the mythos and all of that good stuff, you should be checking out Darth Vader. So, all right, let's move on to issue number 1. All right. So the top comic of 2018. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait a little bit more. Okay, if you haven't turned off the podcast in frustration at this point, the number one. You weren't supposed to do that. Just cut it, please. Thank you. My apologies. Sometimes it just feels like my soundboard guy is just pressing buttons just to press my buttons, and yeah, stop. All right, give me that. All right, that's enough of that. All right, so without further ado, my top pick of this year is, of course, Die, Die, Die. That's right. This is the story of 3 identical brothers trained as the deadliest assassins in the world. There's also a ton of things going on behind the scenes that we never know what's going to happen from issue to issue, because Kirkman, who writes the book, it's another Kirkman book, keeps the solicitations from containing any pictures of the cover or any plot synopsis whatsoever. So every single month when the solicitation books come out, and it says Die, 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 and says redacted, and that's it. That's all we've got. We didn't even know this comic book was coming to the shelves. It just showed up one day at the comic book stores, and everybody went absolutely nuts over it. And I see why. I'm so glad I got to get in on this story in the ground floor. It's action, death, gore, blood, guts. There's things going on in the government, conspiracies, and senators sleeping around to get what they want, and congressmen doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and plots, and just there's so much going on in this book that I can't stop it. And this has got to be the book that tops what Kirkman's been doing on The Walking Dead, I swear to God, for so long. And I feel like that's mostly because I have absolutely no idea what is going on in this comic book, and I have no idea what is going to be going on from month to month to month. Chris Brunham has been doing an amazing job making a complete mess of every page with all the blood and the gore from the extreme violence, and I am absolutely loving every single page of this book every single month. It is just absolutely amazing, and I do not want to tell you a whole lot about the book to give a whole lot of things away, because
really, I want to encourage you to go find the book, read it. Even if you can't get a physical copy, get it digital. Excuse me, got a little excited. Pardon me, real quick. I'm gonna have to actually, I might have to actually make an edit. Oh, there's allergies. You get that slime in the back of your throat. Anyway, moving on. So, that was my top 10 list for the year. Now, this last book that I'm going to talk about, I was going to include it in the top 10 list. It would have been number one. But I really felt like it deserved something else. Because this is my most anticipated book of 2018. I have been waiting for this book for months and months and months. This book was originally solicited it was announced back in June, and it wasn't solicited until July, so I really had no idea what was going on. But this is another Skottie Young book, and the book is called Middle West. So I wasn't sure what was going to be in this book when it was announced, and I think as time went on, the hype that was going on Twitter between Skottie and the main artist, George Corona, just made the anticipation grow. This is the story of Abel, a young boy who we think has a normal life with normal friends, and he's got a little paper route job, but there's something out there that wants him. It's something that's after him, and it's in his dreams. He lives with his father, who is an absolute complete dick and has absolutely no idea why his mother left or even where she might be. She just up and left one day and disappeared. He's been having nightmares for a while about a storm that's coming for him, and one night when he gets into an argument with his father, things escalate beyond a normal fight, and Abel is forced to flee his father as he loses control of his anger and becomes this force straight out of his nightmares. Now he's left this small little town and his monster of a father behind with only a friend that is this talking fox that I'm really not even sure if the fox is real or a figment of Abel's imagination, because when Abel in the first issue of the book, Abel is talking to the fox, and then some of his friends come up and don't acknowledge the presence of the fox. So I think the fox may be in Abel's head, but I'm not sure. Again, this is only one book. Issue number 2 is slated to come out this week. So, yeah. And I will be talking about that in the first episode of the new year. So just stick around for that. But he leaves the town to seek out a new path and to, I guess, get some answers as to what happened to his mother and who he is and what's going on with everything around him. It's real tough to convey the kind of emotion that's felt while reading this book, and I actually read it 3 times when I initially read it, because the emotion that comes out of the story is good, but the art from George Corona just makes it that much better. Mike Hiddleston does the ink for this, and it's bright and vibrant and absolutely amazing, and I couldn't help but pause on each page and linger on the artwork. Skottie Young has always been one of my favorite artists, and when he wrote I Hate Fairyland, which would have made the list this year, it had not been canceled, because he stopped writing I Hate Fairyland to actually write this. So, but as soon as I heard that this was another Skottie Young book, I immediately fell in love with it. And as you heard earlier, his run on Deadpool has been absolutely top notch, and I can't wait to see where this story evolves into, and I'm fully invested in Abel and what he's going to be going through to uncover his family's secrets and make his own story out of this great giant world that he lives in. And it's going to be great. It is definitely going to be. I have a feeling it's going to end up on 2019 top 10. If probably number one. If Die 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 doesn't just get exponentially better as it goes on, which it might. You never know. The battle for number one of 2019 begins in 2018. Who will win the top spot? Yeah, you got another year before you have to worry about that. So that is it for the final episode of 2018. Again, I just want to thank everybody who listens every week, and check out my new website. Things are coming. I have so many things that I want to show you guys in 2019, and so many things that I want to do for you guys in 2019, and I hope you will all stick around and hop aboard this rickety, raggedy-ass train with me and ride it all the way to Mediocrityville, where I will be standing as mayor in a cheap knockoff suit. So, yeah. With that, I want to say that I will see you all next year.